What's going on, you guys? This is All Danny Day, one of the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you guys another Division 2 build video. And with this build video I'm going to be giving you guys is going to be on a brand new CC build, because we all know that the CC build that we used to have and love was nerfed, technically nerfed, because all the enemies basically got a resistance to status effects when it comes to legendaries. So the status effect duration on it doesn't really work as great because it doesn't last as long. But this new gear set, the Eclipse protocol, is very, very nice. I'm going to go ahead and explain how this gear set works, how you want to use it, and how it should pretty much look like when you're using it. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. So first of all, you want to use the Survivalist as your specialist. The reason why is because you get the Incendiary Grenade, which allows you to put the enemies on fire, making it a lot easier to use it as a CC ability, and kind of makes a nice little wall between you and the enemies. The other thing is you get Survivalist Tactical, which allows you and your team to do 10% multi or amplified damage to status affected enemies. It's really, really, really good. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how the build works. So first things first is the weapons. So the weapon I'm using is the Honey Badger, but you can use really any weapon you want. There is a named weapon that does give you the perfect version of Future Perfect. Future Perfect allows you to get a +1 skill tier anytime you get a kill for 15 seconds, and it stacks up 3 times. If you already have 6 yellows, 6 skill tier, then you automatically get the Overcharge perk. And it's really, really nice. And then another option is, instead of running that, you can also run Everlasting Glaze or Gaze, or just a weapon that has Perpetuation, just because when you hit a headshot on an enemy, it gives you 50% increase the duration on status effects. The other option is the Sweet Dreams, because, well, the Sweet Dreams is really nice for reds and purple enemies because it's a one-shot. You just run up and punch them. And with the way this build works, you're definitely going to want to be able to do that. So now with the Eclipse Set. So the Eclipse Set, obviously in the 2-piece set, you get status effect, 15%. 3 pieces, you get 15% skill haste with a 30% hazard protection. Really nice, especially with the new raid coming out. The 4-piece set, you get indirect transmission. Your status effects now spread on kills to all enemies within 15 meters, and it refreshes 50% of the status effect duration. So for the backpack, the reason why you don't want to run the Eclipse protocol is because, well, the Eclipse protocol gives you, or the backpack gives you amplified damage when to an enemy that's status affected. Sounds great because amplified damage is it's really nice, but this is only for yourself. It's not for your team. So it doesn't really matter because you don't have any reds on this build. You could technically run a red build version of Eclipse protocol, but again, it's not going to really benefit you that much because you're not running crits or anything like that. You're running status effects on your attributes. So really running this backpack doesn't really seem to be the best option until you get the Vile Mask. Once you get the Vile Mask from Season 2, then I would run that because the Vile Mask does actual damage, and, you know, amplified damage for the Vile Mask would be really nice. That's why I'm running the Acosta bag, so that way I can overcharge my status effect abilities. With the chest piece, you also get a talent called Proliferation, which basically just increases the duration that you gain from the refresh from 50% to 75%, and then you go from 15 meters to 20 meters. And I'm running one Golan piece because it comes with 10% status effect already. So the different abilities you can run with is the Blinder Firefly, which is really easy to use and it's really nice. The Chem Launcher, Riot Foam as well, I would 100% say you should definitely use that. The other option is you have a Jammer Pulse and you have the Shock Traps, which, you know, the Shock Traps itself is nice, but it only lasts for about 8 seconds on the shocks. So I think the Blind and the Firefly would be the best option. So here's how this ability basically works. You don't really need to target all the enemies. As you can see, it's going to end up blinding everything here. But if you blind one enemy and that enemy dies, either from you or your allies, it'll spread to multiple enemies within 20 meters. As you can see here, all the targets are blinded, and then you can kill the target that had that spread from that I guess, the status effect, you can kill that target, and then it'll end up getting the same targets that it was just on. There's no cooldown of how often they can be status affected, as long as it just goes back and forth. Now, obviously, some enemies will have a better resistance, though. For example, purples will have a higher resistance than reds when it comes to status effects. Yellows will have a higher resistance than the purples. And then the named bosses will have a higher resistance than all of them. And then when it comes to legendary, reds have a resistance as well. And then purples have a higher, much higher resistance. Yellows have a much higher. And then bosses, you can only really status affect the boss for like a few seconds. So in this case, this isn't going to be the best thing to use in a one-on-one scenario, like you going against the boss. You can keep the boss status affected for quite a bit, making it easy for your DPSs, but it's not like the old status effect builds, the CC builds that I made at the first, where you can just constantly keep this boss status affected over and over and over. But yeah, that's pretty much how this build works, and it's really nice when it comes to literally anything. Legendaries, heroics, dark zone, farming, raid, whatever it is that you want to do. This build is viable for any of it. But hopefully, if this video helped you guys out, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know down in the comment section as well, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And if you have any other suggestions on this build, like different ideas or anything like that, let me know as well. I have a bunch of different builds coming in, but I just wanted to post all the different base builds for this for these new gear sets. These gear sets open a lot when it comes to building new builds and stuff. It was actually pretty fun farming for these two. I haven't really had fun in Division 2 farming in a while, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this helped you guys out. This is all Disney 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, peace.